do you understand your dad getting caught in the middle of like being
Yes.
loved by both women? And so she's just saying like, I have to admit, I was aware. I wasn't trying to put my son in the middle. But I see the thing is I loved him so much. Do you understand a grandmother passing for you? You understand this grandmother to be on your father's side for you that you're thinking about? And then for your father, they would be together, grandmother and mom. And for a lot of times they come through together just to let you know that they're reunited in spirit. And it does feel that your mom could be a focus of this as well, like getting messages to her. Would you understand your past loved ones wanting to get messages of comfort to your mom? Do you know if your grandmother ever prayed with a rosary? Or if that was
Yeah.
something that would have been important to her, because she's showing me these beads. She does feel like she had a strong faith that there was more than just this. Do you understand a pride about your grandmother in some kind of way? Because she makes me feel like she's bringing this through because she thinks it's funny that she would really enjoy being right about something. And so she comes through and says, I just want to say I was right. She does feel like she takes great pride in the fact that, like, I knew that this was real and it absolutely is. You know, she does reference your mom. It makes me feel like she's sending a lot of love to your mom. But I have to say right now, grandma on dad's side is a lot. Um, got a lot of opinions, and and I just feel like I'm sensing that there were times where if family was together, your mom would have felt a little bit exasperated, would be the perfect word, by handling maybe she says, go ahead, say it, bossiness, liking
Uh,
things a certain way, or just like a little, what do I have to say? Oh, what's the word that I'm looking for? Particular, a little particular about certain things that sometimes for your mom took the joy out of the moment, right? We missed the moment because grandma was stubborn and wanted things a certain way, was a little bit bossy, and made no apologies for letting people know. She's opinionated, makes me feel like she wouldn't mind sharing that, things should really be this way. And it was work for your mom sometimes. Like, I feel like if she was to come and visit, your mom would just feel a little bit like stressed about, like, is it going to be good enough? Is it going to be whatever? And this brings up a lot of emotion in me right now because your grandmother definitely wants to come through and share all kinds of just messages of love for the grief that your mom goes through. And also, I would say messages of apologies, which is really funny right now because she says she's not the one to come out and say, I'm sorry very often. So I don't really see your grandmother as being the kind of person who would say, I really thought about how I said that and how it would have bothered you. That would not happen. And she says the reason that wouldn't happen is because it didn't even occur to her. I can hear her say self-righteous a couple times. Do you understand that? And she's not even saying it in a bad way. She's just saying, I really stand behind the things that I believe. So it never, ever would have occurred to me that me kind of saying it the way I think it should be, or setting the record straight, or telling the story the way I want to tell it, right? Or stomping over your mom's version or something every once in a while, it wouldn't have occurred to me like there were times where I wanted that power struggle a little bit. And like, it does make me feel sometimes like both of these women, like, do you understand your dad getting caught in the middle of like being
yes.
loved by both women? And so she's just saying like, I have to admit, I was aware. I wasn't trying to put my son in the middle, but I see the thing is I loved him so much that it was really hard as a mother. And she makes me feel like I could cry for days. She's like, you got to understand how it feels like a mother to see your son all of a sudden be crazy about another woman and what that feels like. And so sometimes I just couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. But if you could please tell your mom, because your mom, I don't know that she's into this, but she will believe this and she will
Yeah.
really receive apologies. Your grandmother just says, I'm sorry first, and I told your dad, your mom's husband, when I first came, because she makes me feel like she greeted him when he passed, and that she was there to welcome him during his transition, and that she makes me feel like I have to tell you to tell your mom, I told him that I was sorry for putting him in the middle. It sucks to be in the middle, and I'm saying to her right now that I'm sorry for kind of walking over your turf. your home, your rules. Like, if there was a time where it felt like I kind of butted in and took over or was a little more, she's making me feel like she wouldn't mind being like the center of attention sometimes, or like talking to a story or things like that. And just saying like, I should have created more space for you to just be, especially because of the element of time with your dad. There's something coming up about that piece. And it doesn't feel like super straightforward to me. There's something about this where she says like the time that your mom had with your dad was precious, but in some ways it was limited. And I'm not actually talking about his passing. Does that make sense to you at all that she would say that they had limited time? It feels like something happened before your dad passed that cut your parents' time short. Do you understand that piece?
Yeah.
But the second time that she showed me divorce papers, do you understand anything about that? A reference to a divorce for your parents? Is that what this is? It does feel like I have to say something about like, well, what if it had been just even a little bit more amicable? Do you understand why I would be saying that? We should be saying that?
Yes.
Well, she said that we reflect on these things that didn't work out. And we just, when someone passes, we instantly have this feeling of a greater perspective. And this is wild. The love and the energy that surrounds a spirit, a soul that transitions gets shared with the people that they had a connection with. Okay. So when your dad passed, it's like, do you understand when your dad passed feeling some kind of like energetic inflow of energy? Do you understand anything about that? Like in his time of passing?
Yeah.
She's talking about how like part of that energy from their spirit and that perspective gets shared with us. And then she shows me your mom. And that's why there's this feeling of like, now that person is gone, and we reflect on something that our higher self knows, which is how good of a job did I do of giving and receiving love with this person, platonic or not, doesn't matter. We just have our higher self kind of reflects on a part of that piece, because when your dad crosses, he reflects and looks back on that piece as well. Your grandma's here for two main reasons, and I'm sure there are a million reasons, but three. One, she loves you. Simple as that. Two, she's back with your dad. Three, apologies to your mom. She stands over to the side now, and it feels like dad definitely wants to step forward. I'm getting this reference or like having this like memory play of something that he says, sorry for the shouting. Do you understand? Like overhearing fights.
Yes.
And I have to say that like I could say a million different ways, like I didn't want you to have to see that,